The story opens with a sudden, urgent transmission, crackling through the communications arrays of human settlements scattered across some of the harshest death worlds known in the galaxy. These planets are environments so brutal that few species dare to live there, worlds scorched by constant storms, poisoned by toxic atmospheres, or riddled with savage predators evolved to kill anything weaker than themselves. Yet humanity thrives here, hardened and battle-scarred by millennia of survival against impossible odds. The transmission is an SOS, a distress signal broadcast from a once prosperous alien civilization deep in a troubled sector of space. Their voice, desperate but clear, warns of a relentless armada sweeping through nearby systems. Entire planets are being glassed, entire populations eradicated. The alien species making the call is technologically advanced but clearly overwhelmed, begging for aid from any who might hear. This moment sets the stage for a monumental decision. The human leadership scattered across their Death World colonies must determine whether to answer the call. These worlds are isolated and often considered expendable by the galactic community, too dangerous and too costly to defend in large numbers. Many alien species view Deathworlders with disdain, considering them wild, unpredictable, and ultimately expendable. Some within the human ranks themselves argue that it is not their fight, that survival on their own brutal planets is challenge enough, and intervention risks drawing them into an unwinnable war. But there is a faction among the humans, led by a fiercely determined fleet commander who understands the unique strengths born from Deathworld living. This commander argues that humanity's reputation as tough, relentless survivors is not just legend. They propose that humans, hardened by decades of thriving in the galaxy's most lethal environments, are the only species capable of meeting this existential threat head-on. To intervene is not only a moral imperative, but an opportunity to prove humanity's place as more than mere savage outcasts. As debates unfold in high-security council chambers, the story delves into the mindset of the Deathworlders. Their culture, forged in the crucible of constant danger, is marked by brutal pragmatism and ingenious adaptability. Unlike many alien races that rely on overwhelming technological firepower or sheer numbers, humans have learned to think unconventionally, to use their hostile environments as force multipliers, to endure injuries that would cripple others, and to innovate on the fly. This mindset becomes the story's thematic heartbeat. Survival against all odds is humanity's greatest weapon. Meanwhile, glimpses of the alien civilization sending the SOS show a once great society, now on the brink of extinction. Their desperation and vulnerability contrast sharply with human confidence, raising stakes emotionally. The audience is invited to empathize with both sides, setting up a story not just about war but about survival, hope, and unlikely alliances. Ultimately, the human council reaches a historic decision. A fleet composed of the best pilots, warriors, and strategists from the Deathworld colonies will be deployed, not as mere rescuers but as a storm of reckoning for the enemy armada. This fleet represents more than military power. It embodies the essence of human resilience and the unyielding spirit born of living on Deathworlds. As the part closes, the fleet commander watches the distant stars, knowing that what lies ahead will test everything humanity believes about itself. The distress signal was just the beginning. Soon, the Deathworlders' fleet will carry humanity's answer across the void, ready to change the galaxy's perception of what it means to be human. Following the momentous decision to answer the alien SOS, humanity's Deathworld colonies spring into intense action. Unlike traditional fleets drawn from polished, pristine starbases, this fleet is forged from the toughest, most resourceful humans ever to have endured the galaxy's deadliest environments. These Deathworlders are not your average soldiers. They are veterans of planetary survival, hardened by decades, sometimes centuries, of fighting to stay alive on planets that would break most species in days. The story zooms in on the massive logistical effort behind assembling this unique fleet. Shipyards nestled deep within volcanic mountain ranges, toxic swamplands and radioactive wastelands rush to retrofit battlecruisers and frigates. These vessels are rugged and unconventional, heavily modified with scavenged alien technology, and reinforced hulls capable of enduring punishing environments and sustained combat. Unlike sleek luxury vessels of galactic powers, these ships wear their scars proudly, a testament to the grit of their crews. Crew recruitment emphasizes the human Deathworlder spirit. Pilots who have survived countless planetary hazards, engineers who have kept ships running with limited resources, and soldiers who have mastered guerrilla warfare in extreme conditions, all answer the call. The story introduces a range of characters: a no-nonsense fleet commander known for her tactical brilliance, a young pilot whose reflexes were honed dodging acid storms, and a veteran engineer who once kept a dying colony's power grid alive with jury-rigged tech. Training scenes showcase the fleet's preparation not just in standard military drills, but in leveraging their Deathworld heritage. Humans train in simulated environments designed to mimic hostile alien terrains: acidic rain, extreme heat, poisonous gases, pushing their bodies and minds beyond normal limits. They rehearse unconventional tactics, such as ambushes using terrain, to nullify enemy firepower, using stealth and surprise rather than brute force. This preparation highlights a key HFY theme: human adaptability and ingenuity outclass sheer technological superiority. The political backdrop thickens. Some alien factions within the Galactic Council express suspicion and fear about humanity's growing power. There are whispers and warnings about Deathworlders meddling in affairs beyond their stations. Meanwhile, other alien species, aware of the approaching threat and impressed by humanity's resolve, quietly offer covert support, providing intelligence, supplies, and even weapons in secret. These alliances add complexity to the story's universe, showing that humanity is already shaking up the galactic status quo. The fleet commander delivers a stirring speech to the assembled crews, reminding them that their homeworlds shaped them into the galaxy's most dangerous survivors. They are not just fighters. They are a force born from worlds where failure means extinction. This rallying cry instills fierce pride and unity among the crews, preparing them mentally for the trials ahead. As final preparations wrap up, the fleet readies to depart, ships humming with raw power, crews sharpened by harsh training, and minds focused on the mission. The story captures the tension and excitement of the moment. This is not just a military deployment, but a bold statement of human identity and defiance. The part closes with the fleet launching into hyperspace, streaking toward the unknown. The Deathworlder fleet embodies humanity's raw survival instincts, tactical cunning, and relentless drive to endure. They carry the hopes of not just the dying alien civilization they seek to aid, but all of humanity, proving to the galaxy that Deathworlders are not mere survivors but a force to be reckoned with. With the Deathworlder fleet assembled and prepped, the story plunges into the perilous journey into hostile space, what the fleet commander calls into the fire. This phase is the first real test of humanity's readiness to face the relentless, alien armada threatening the galaxy. As the fleet emerges from hyperspace near the afflicted sector, tension grips the crews. They immediately encounter the signs of devastation: planets scorched, orbital defenses annihilated, and refugee convoys desperately fleeing for safety. The enemy forces, a merciless and technologically advanced alien war machine, control the skies with overwhelming numbers and superior weaponry. From the outset, the Deathworlders refuse to fall into predictable patterns of engagement. Instead of relying on conventional fleet tactics, the humans draw on their brutal survival instincts and Deathworld-honed ingenuity. Small, agile strike teams dart in and out of asteroid fields, using debris for cover and striking at vulnerable points before vanishing into the void. These hit-and-run tactics frustrate the enemy, who expect the humans to engage in large, direct confrontations. The story focuses on several key engagements. One involves a desperate battle protecting a convoy of civilian transports filled with refugees escaping a dying world. The fleet's pilots perform daring maneuvers through ion storms and radiation belts, drawing on skills developed from navigating hazardous Deathworld skies. The transports survive thanks to human tenacity and daring tactics. Meanwhile, aboard the flagship, the fleet commander coordinates multiple fronts with cold precision. She trusts her subordinates to improvise and take risks, knowing the human advantage lies in unpredictability and adaptability. A young officer suggests using an unorthodox plan, leveraging the Deathworld environment itself by luring the enemy fleet close to a planet with extreme volcanic activity and unstable magnetic fields. This proposal is risky but promises to turn natural hazards into a weapon. The fleet engages in several skirmishes, and although they suffer losses, their unconventional tactics slowly begin to even the odds. Enemy war machines, designed for straight-line assaults and overwhelming firepower, struggle against the humans' guerrilla-style combat and battlefield improvisation. Humans sustain injuries and damage that would cripple other species, showcasing their resilience. Their refusal to retreat or surrender frustrates the enemy commanders. Amidst battle scenes, the story also explores the psychological strain on the crews. Deathworlders share memories of their harsh homeworlds, tales of survival against predators, toxic storms, and starvation, drawing strength from their pasts. This emotional depth grounds the epic space battles in human experience and makes their victories feel earned and hard-won. The climax of this part centers around a critical mission to defend a strategic jump gate, a vital transit point for refugee, escape routes, and military reinforcements. The enemy launches a heavy assault aiming to capture or destroy the gate, but the Deathworlder fleet employs the volcanic planet ambush. They bait the enemy into hazardous terrain, where natural eruptions and electromagnetic storms wreak havoc on alien sensors and weapons. The battle is fierce, chaotic, and brutal, but ultimately successful. The enemy flagship takes serious damage, and the Deathworlders gain a much-needed victory that shifts momentum in their favor. This engagement solidifies the fleet's reputation and proves that humans are not just survivors but formidable combatants capable of strategic brilliance. As Part 3 closes, the fleet limps forward, battered but undefeated, their confidence renewed. The alien armada now knows that humanity's Deathworlders are a unique and dangerous threat, one that refuses to back down, no matter the odds. The war has truly begun, and humanity's fight to save the galaxy has entered its most brutal phase. As the conflict escalates, Part 4 opens with the Deathworlder fleet facing its greatest challenge yet, an imminent, massive assault by the enemy armada on a critical stronghold protecting a major alien civilization's homeworld. This stronghold is a strategic keystone. Its fall would open the sector to total domination by the enemy, spelling doom for countless innocent lives and the fragile galactic balance. The enemy fleet's buildup is terrifying. Advanced warships, bristling with cutting-edge weapons mass in orbit, supported by swarms of automated drones and elite assault troops trained for planetary invasions. The enemy commanders, confident in their technological superiority and numerical advantage, anticipate an easy victory over what they consider a ragtag fleet of Deathworlders. However, humanity's commanders approach the battle differently. Instead of meeting the enemy fleet head-on in open space, they use their intimate knowledge of Deathworld environments to draw the enemy into a deadly trap. The chosen battleground is a toxic, volcanic Deathworld whose skies are thick with poisonous gases and whose surface constantly churns with lava flows and violent storms. This planet's volatile conditions make it inhospitable to most life forms, but the Deathworlders thrive here. Human strategists coordinate the fleet to use the planet's natural hazards as a force multiplier. Their plan is multi-layered. First, they deploy stealth units to disrupt the enemy's sensor arrays, relying on their ability to operate within the planet's deadly atmospheric conditions. Next, the fleet maneuvers to bait the enemy into close proximity with the planet's magnetic storms and volcanic eruptions. These natural forces interfere with the enemy's advanced targeting systems and disrupt communications. As the battle commences, chaos erupts in orbit. The enemy fleet is caught off guard by the environmental challenges and the humans' unconventional tactics. While many of the enemy ships struggle to maintain formation and coordinate attacks, the Deathworlder fleet exploits every weakness. Fast attack ships dart through the ash clouds, launching precise strikes at critical enemy vessels. Boarding parties trained in close-quarters combat honed on Deathworlds seize crippled enemy ships, turning captured technology to their advantage. The heart of the conflict lies the enemy flagship, a massive, heavily fortified dreadnought believed to be invincible. The humans focus their efforts on crippling this vessel. Using daring guerrilla tactics, Deathworlder pilots repeatedly harass its flanks, drawing fire and exposing vulnerable systems. Meanwhile, specialized teams aboard the flagship execute a risky boarding operation, leveraging their Deathworlder resilience and brutal combat skills to infiltrate and sabotage the enemy from within. The battle is brutal and costly. Many human ships are lost and casualties run high. Yet the Deathworlder's tenacity, creativity, and sheer willpower begin to turn the tide. The enemy flagship sustains severe damage, forcing it into retreat. This victory not only saves the stronghold but marks a turning point in the war, proving that humans are a force that cannot be defeated by technology or numbers alone. Amid the chaos, the story deepens its focus on individual heroes. The fleet commander demonstrates remarkable leadership, making split-second decisions that inspire her crew. Young officers who once doubted their chances find courage and purpose, their personal growth mirroring humanity's rising dominance. In the battle, this pivotal victory sends shockwaves through the galactic community. Allies of the humans celebrate, while enemy factions scramble to reassess their strategies against the unpredictable Deathworlders. Suspicion and fear of humanity's growing power intensify, setting the stage for political intrigue and further conflict. Part 4 closes with a powerful image of the fleet regrouping in the aftermath, battered but unbroken, united by shared sacrifice and renewed resolve. The turning point in the war has been reached, but the story hints at even greater challenges ahead. The Deathworlders have proven their worth, but the true test of humanity's resilience and ingenuity is only just beginning. The climactic confrontation where everything humanity and their allies have fought for hangs in the balance. The Deathworlder fleet, now battle-hardened and strategically seasoned, prepares for the reckoning battle against the alien armada's main forces. This confrontation is not just a military engagement but a defining moment that will decide the fate of the sector, and possibly the galaxy itself. The story opens with the Deathworlder's fleet regrouped at a critical jump point, near a cluster of star systems that serve as the last bastion of resistance for the threatened alien civilization. The enemy armada, having recovered from previous setbacks, has concentrated its full might here, determined to crush humanity's intervention and finish their ruthless conquest. The humans know this battle will be unlike any they have faced before. The enemy has learned from earlier skirmishes and has adapted its tactics, fielding new warships equipped with advanced countermeasures designed specifically to neutralize the Deathworlders' guerrilla style of warfare. Despite this, the Deathworlders are not deterred. They have also evolved, incorporating lessons learned and integrating captured alien tech to enhance their fleet. Before the battle, the fleet commander holds a somber briefing. She emphasizes that victory will require not only bravery but trust, innovation, and sacrifice. The fleet's morale is high but tempered by the heavy losses suffered in previous engagements. The story highlights personal moments between characters, friends sharing their hopes and fears, and seasoned veterans reminding the younger generation of the stakes. As battle commences, the scale and intensity are staggering. Thousands of ships fill the void, exchanging devastating volleys of energy weapons and missile barrages. The Deathworlders employ coordinated multi-pronged attacks, feints, and traps to outmaneuver the enemy. Human pilots execute daring aerial dogfights that reflect their years surviving hostile planetary environments, and ground forces prepare to defend critical planets from orbital bombardment. A major highlight is the coordinated assault on the enemy's flagship, a colossal dreadnought acting as the command center of the armada. The Deathworlders deploy a specialized strike team that combines starfighter pilots, boarding parties, and electronic warfare specialists. They infiltrate the dreadnought, sabotaging vital systems while the fleet engages in a fierce duel outside its hull. The boarding party faces brutal resistance, but their Deathworlder resilience and ruthless tactics turn the tide. The story gives vivid descriptions of close-quarters combat inside the enemy ship, dark corridors, deadly traps, and desperate firefights. Their success cripples the dreadnought's command and control, throwing the enemy fleet into disarray. However, the victory comes at great cost. Several beloved characters are gravely wounded or sacrificed during the fight, underscoring the harsh realities of war. These losses add emotional weight, and deepen the story's themes of sacrifice and endurance. Outside the flagship, the Deathworlder fleet exploits the chaos to push the enemy back. The alien armada, shaken by the loss of its command vessel, begins a retreat. Humanity's fleet, battered but victorious, secures the sector and stabilizes the region. This victory is hailed across the galaxy as proof that Deathworlders are not just survivors, but pivotal defenders of peace and justice. In the aftermath, the story explores the political ripple effects. Allies strengthen their bonds with humanity, while former doubters reconsider their prejudices. The Deathworlders' reputation rises, and the galactic powers begin to acknowledge their vital role. But the victory also draws new eyes and enemies, forces wary of humanity's growing influence and power. Part 5 closes with the fleet commander reflecting on the price of victory and the road ahead. The Reckoning battle was a decisive moment, but the war's final chapters are yet to be written. Humanity's fight to protect the galaxy continues, fueled by the indomitable spirit of Deathworlders who refuse to be defeated. The story, Legacy of the Deathworlders, unfolds as the war reaches its conclusion, and humanity's unique role in galactic affairs is forever cemented. After the grueling battles, sacrifices, and hard-won victories, the Deathworlder fleet stands not only as a military force but as a symbol of resilience, adaptability, and unyielding determination. The story opens with the fleet returning to their home territories, planets once considered hostile or barren by other species, now transformed into bastions of hope and strength. The Deathworlders are celebrated by their own people and by grateful alien allies whose worlds were saved. A wave of respect and admiration spreads throughout the galactic community, shifting long-held prejudices about humans and their harsh worlds. Human leaders and diplomats take this moment to forge new alliances, using the victory to negotiate terms that elevate humanity's status within the Galactic Council. These political moves are carefully balanced with the fleet's desire to remain fiercely independent and self-reliant, reflecting the Deathworlder ethos that survival depends on strength and adaptability, rather than blind reliance on others. The narrative also reflects on the personal costs of the war. Survivors mourn their fallen comrades, honoring their sacrifices with ceremonies on the scorched surfaces of Deathworld colonies and the quiet halls of space stations. These scenes deepen the story's emotional resonance, showing that victory is bittersweet and that the price of survival is never free. The story highlights how the Deathworlders' experience reshapes military doctrine across the galaxy. Other species study human tactics, guerrilla space warfare, adaptive ship designs, and resilience-based training, adopting aspects into their own forces. Humanity's Deathworlders become instructors and advisors, teaching others how to survive and fight in extreme conditions. A central theme in this finale is the birth of a new identity for humanity in the galactic stage. No longer seen as mere survivors or fringe outcasts, humans are recognized as innovators and defenders who thrive where others falter. Their Deathworld origins, once a source of disdain, are now a badge of honor, symbolizing the ultimate evolutionary edge. The fleet commander, now a celebrated hero, reflects on the journey from a ragtag assembly of fighters to a legendary force. Her introspection reveals a profound respect for the Deathworlders' grit, ingenuity, and unbreakable spirit. She contemplates the future. New threats will emerge, but humanity is ready. The story closes on a note of hopeful vigilance, emphasizing that Deathworlders will always be the galaxy's guardians against darkness. Lastly, the story hints at seeds for future adventures, mysterious alien signals, unexplored regions of space, and political intrigue stirred by humanity's rise. These tantalizing threads promise that while this chapter ends, humanity's epic saga is far from over.